Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and guys, we need a new word. We need a new descriptor for the people I'm about to talk about. And that includes YouTube. YouTube has become so sensitive and unfair. It's blows my mind. So to the YouTube human reviewer that will eventually get to this 3 days later when this topic's not relevant, please be more fair and stop telling me that I'm saying something outside of our guidelines or that's something too sensitive, because nothing in this video goes against the guidelines. Yet the algorithm here on YouTube, if you use the wrong word in a title or in your description or in the video itself, you're automatically, a button is hit and you have to wait 24 hours for them to approve this video. It is insane. So I'm recording this video a second time, extra careful, censoring myself a little bit, just so I can get this content to you. That's how frustrating this is. So if you'd like to see the whole thing unhinged and you want to actually support this channel, hit that subscribe button, or better yet, hit the join button right next to it, because right there, that's where you'll get all the members only content that I don't have to hide myself during. So if you really want to help this channel, please go do that. Now, sorry for all that preamble, but I have to get it out so I can get this video to you, because look, I'm a little hot on this topic. This one got me hot, all right? This one's going to revolve around singer Sia. Now, you may not actually know her from her face. You probably know her from this. But you also maybe know her from the Chandelier. Chandelier. Good karaoke song, if you can hit the high note. But she does all these videos, and she's been doing them with this girl dancer, Maddie Ziegler, that has done a lot of her videos, including the Chandelier video. And so, you know, they sort of go hand in hand, and she's sort of a mother figure to her, and she's done a lot of her work. So here she is in a new movie called Music that Sia is directing, writing, and did an album around, starring Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr., and Maddie Ziegler as the character Music. And this was the sneak peek. Now, if you're to watch this trailer, which I have to be careful, they don't refer to her as disabled or autistic or anything, but she has like sensory problems. She needs to, use her iPad to say some words, and she clearly uses music, and they go into dream sequences, and there's lots of dancing, and that's it. That's the movie. They don't really say anything negative about her condition. They don't even label her condition. However, people saw her as an autistic, disabled person and immediately lost their mind. Sigh, yet another example of Hollywood casting a non-disabled actor to play a disabled character. When doing a film about autism, hire actually autistic folks to work on it. 13,000 likes. This went nuclear today. So it went crazy today. So all across the internet, all day long, and I can't even show you some of the most hatred of these comments because it goes against, I guess, the guidelines that the algorithm here, enforces. But I'm going to go through and show you the best of sort of what I could find and censored some of it, just to show you how ridiculous, how overly hypersensitive, intolerant, and uninclusive. I guess it's the word I'm trying to exclusionists. Again, I need a word to define these people who are so. Let's go through it, okay? So here, and what's crazy is Sia's there fighting back every step of the way. So Sia, I stand with you on this one. I do not believe you meant anything mean-spirited, and the toxicity that is coming your way, and the ignorance and the intolerance that are just coming to assume so much about your film without seeing it, without actually understanding what the characters' things are, with so many negative assumptions about and anger and, hey, why didn't you hire me? Let's get to this, because this one's annoying. Hey, Sia, can I ask you why you didn't cast a disabled actor for this part? It's pretty offensive the way you've chosen to portray this character. I mean, I didn't find anything offensive. I literally had maybe 5 seconds to base it off of, but Brona here is already offended by the character looking up and wearing headphones, and oh my God, how offensive for a character that's never been even labeled in this 2-minute clip. I am offended by the way you've chosen to portray this character. People with disabilities are not broken and don't need fixing. Many of my friends have different. She goes, oh God. First of all, who said that the character Maddie's playing is broken and needs fixing? It's never said in the trailer. The only one who clearly needs help is the character of Kate Hudson, who's clearly down and out because if you the synopsis I did read, she suddenly has this kid that she has to take care of, and this is the sister. She's not actually the mother, and that can be stressful when a new kid is thrust upon your life. And yes, sometimes I know plenty of parents with autistic children, and it definitely can be more tougher. It's tougher. It doesn't mean it's not worthy or it's not full of love, but sometimes it can be tougher. And this movie, as we will learn, is about the parents and the caregivers more than anything else. But again, nowhere has she labeled what she is, what her condition is, or anything. But here is Bernard sort of a summary. So here's Sia chiming back. I agree. I've never referred to music, that's the character, as disabled. Special abilities is what I've always said, and casting someone at her level of functioning was cruel, not kind. So I made the executive decision that we would do our best to lovingly represent the community. And so I got to say that one because it gets a little, so here we go. What do you mean it would be cruel? Why would it be cruel, not kind, to cast someone at her level of functioning, so to speak? She found it extremely stressful and overwhelming. As I said, there are 13 people on the spectrum in this movie. So she's, more on this in a second, but it's just so we're clear, she hired a lot of people on the spectrum to be in other roles, on the crew, etc. She really did her due diligence to make sure there were people represented in the film. And here we go. This is totally unacceptable. There are no excuses. You should know better than to allow able-bodied and neurotypical to represent the disabled community. It's incredibly offensive, as is the infantilization of the character. Sickened, and not even captioned. Don't release this. Look, guys, this isn't like a few people. We have almost 1.6 thousand likes. And so here she goes and explains it more. I actually tried working with a beautiful young girl, nonverbal, on the spectrum, and she found it unpleasant and stressful. So that's why I cast Maddie. I believe the movie is beautiful, will create more good than harm, and if I'm wrong, I'll pay for it for the rest of my life. She continues to go on. That doesn't work. Asking people who aren't autistic about autism doesn't make you rep good. Your rep good. Talking about instead of with us and having other programs is not okay ever. I had 2 people on the spectrum advising me at all times. And so here we go. This is crippling. This is cripping up, and it's really gross. If you want to tell stories about disabled people, pay disabled people to tell the story. I hired plenty of special abilities kids. I'm willing to be misunderstood because I think the movie does more good than harm. Doesn't sound like the movie's going to do any harm. Just upsetting some people who are being way, way too assumptive and hypersensitive. I love Maddie, don't get me wrong, but you need to consult actual autistic people and have autistic people play autistic people. Charlotte, were you there? Do you know what Sia did? Why are these people? Look, I want you to go through all these to see how the piling on happens. And anybody who's upset at her, step back from your anger and your hatred for 1 second and look at how the pile on mob mentality takes over a discussion. So many assumptions, judgment, and hatred when you don't even know or haven't even seen the movie, that makes my blood boil. Watch the movie, then criticize. I did. It felt, so why didn't she use it? I did. It felt more compassionate to use Maddie. That was my call. The character is based on a close friend of mine. And now look at this reaction. You did not just pull I have the autistic friend card. What? She based it on a friend of hers. How is that pulling the autistic friend card? These people are crazy. Incredibly disappointed to see yet another misrepresentation of neurodivergent people. What an incredibly wasted opportunity to showcase autistic talent and share an authentic story from that community. Will not be watching us. We shall not be removed. I'm so confused. The character is based completely on my neuroatypical friend. He found it too stressful being nonverbal, and I made this movie with nothing but love for him and his mother. So let's pause here for a second, because she's very clearly trying her best to explain her love, her support, not her hate, saying that this is based on a friend, the friend and the mother, some people important to her, and she had clearly a vision in mind that she wanted to portray. There's clearly dance sequences and a lot going on in this movie that clearly she had trouble getting people who were neurotypical, I don't know these terms, but the neurodivergent community, every time she tried to cast someone like that, they weren't comfortable in the part. So this group is like, so what? Change the movie then. Force it. And then it gets even more absurd. Let's keep going. They also assumed an autistic would be incapable of doing the job because of the pressures. Not an assumption, an experience. She's doubling down saying, I tried to do it. It didn't work. Based on your interaction with a few people, LOL, a few girls had a hard time, so the whole community must have it hard, obviously. Doesn't sound like assumptions at all. Did you do any research or consult the community at all? It's very condescending to say it would be cruel to consult a disabled actor. First of all, Amy, that's not what she said. Again, words in mouths, and then the mob takes it, and then they hear it, and then Amy's out there to 4,000 people who then say, oh my God, she said it would be cruel to consult a disabled actor. She did. She said it, and we've just watched it. She said it multiple times that she did. And then she goes, duh, I spent 3 effing years researching. I think that's why I'm so effing bummed. Rightfully so, Sia. Stand your ground on this. Do not give in to the mob. I'm so sad and confused that you think I didn't do research and utilize my friends on the spectrum. So many assumptions. I hope you love the film. It's beautiful. No autistic person has been waiting to be openly mocked on film. Mocking is the very last thing either Maddie and I wanted it to be so misunderstood. Please watch it before you judge. They're now saying she's mocking it. The performance is mocking it. So that means all movies that have ever done someone, Forrest Gump, I Am Sam, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Leonardo DiCaprio, Rain Man. I mean, we could list hundreds of movies. And so now apparently every performance that's not by a actual autistic actor is mocking. That's what it is now. There's no longer acting in the world, only mocking. Your tweets have really encapsulated the whole problem. Autistic people do not bring their families or carers suffering. In fact, it's often caregivers who cause harm to disabled people. Autistic people need to be allowed to tell their own stories, not this garbage. Oh my God, Tom, you don't know what the story is. You are absolutely assuming. You are jumping down this woman's throat. It just assuming so much negativity based off, I don't know, your own experiences. How do you know that's what the movie is? How do you have, until you've seen it, how do you know? And then let's say it is about the mom who has a tough time. You're telling me, Tom, no mom has a tough time raising any kid? You're speaking for all moms now. This is ridiculous. I hate this. Like, this is hatred. This is awfulness. Now here's where I'm a neurodivergent actor and writer with an MFA from a prestigious program. I know myself and plenty other autistic actors and writers, many of whom are in this thread, would kill for a lead role in a star-studded film. Sia doesn't get to decide what's too much stress. You know what, Estelle, you're right. I want to be in more movies too. Why am I being left out? You know what, everybody should get a shot at being in a Hollywood movie with this. We can all be exactly the vision that Sia was ready for. Of course, Estelle is probably a fantastic actor that is so good she could just be thrusted into a Hollywood movie right away because she's got an MFA from a prestigious program. So you know what? Yes, Sia, how dare you not cast Estelle? Yeah, Estelle. And so even she's, do I get to recognize and respect it? Sure, if for an individual, if they decide it's too much for them, but it's just inappropriate to not have hired an autistic actor, let alone hiring autistic folks at the core of your creative team. There are plenty of us with industry experience who could have helped. She said she did. She has talked about Estelle, but it sounds like you're just trying to get a job. Sounds like you're upset because you didn't get hired. Sia refused to work with actual autistic people because she was in a hurry. So she teamed up with an organization that promotes autistic kids and does terrible things. It's not gotcha. I have no idea where you heard this, but it's 100% fake news. And then she just repeats the thing before. Hey, Sia, I heard you're working closely with the Autism Center, which apparently has some negative connotation, which she didn't know. I wasn't pushed, and then it wasn't pushed back several times because no distributor wanted their name attached to this piece of S. Sia struggled to find a distributor that would. Also BS. Perhaps you might consider your own prejudices leading to you to describe autistic people as suffering. Inspiration is harmful, marginalized populations. I don't believe I've ever referred to autism and suffering in the same sentence. I have said flourishing or suffering depending on where you are on the spectrum, but obviously this is very dear to my heart. Again, quote her. Don't just say she's saying things. She's telling you she's not. I want these people to make a neurodivergent musical with neurodivergent actors in response to this movie. I would be so much better. And here's how good Sia is. I would love to. I would be totally into help financing that. I feel sad. I think we all want the same thing. So this is the person you're attacking. And this isn't the first time I've seen her be so positive and supportive. She gives all over the place. She's like such one of the nicest celebrities out there who gives to so many causes, charities. And here she is as the mob's tearing her down. I would love to finance a movie about that. Hello? Why don't we stop attacking her and take her up on it? Wouldn't that be better, community? No, she's the enemy now. You know what I love seeing music, but this is deeply screwed up. To make a movie exploiting disabled people. What? What? Where, Katie, is that happening? Again, and the 1,500 people who like this, where did she do that? Cast someone in a caricature. Huh? How is it a caricature? You haven't even seen it yet. And it's an original character. Imply a disabled person couldn't do it. She didn't do that. She said the ones she tried weren't comfortable doing it, and so she made a judgment call to use someone she really likes working with. And she even says that many people told her this was the best way to do it. Claim that working with autism speaks and not people with autism. She didn't know. She's also said she didn't know. So here we are. Let's just pile on, Katie, and destroy this woman's life. You're an ignorant and a disgrace to the disabled community. Get in the bin. Oh, Artie, that'll teach her. That's a good way to get about this, right? I don't even have much to say about this in a single tweet other than F every person involved straight to hell. Autistic adults are not listless children. Just because we have tics and consume music differently than you, we are not your playthings. Where did you see? Well, I'm sorry so many people are projecting on this movie, but I haven't seen the movie yet. And I haven't seen that for so much vitriol. It's a mighty shame that someone with such a colossal platform is using it to exclude disabled and neurodiverse actors from their own narratives. I've been a longtime fan of your work, so this is really disappointing. 3,000 people agree with her. I cast 13 neotypical people, 3 trans folks, and not as effing people here or druggies, but as doctors, nurses, singers. Effing sad. Nobody's even seen the dang movie. My heart has always been in the right place. But Tommy knows better because, she's read a bunch of tweets. She's angry. Now, here's the big one. This one, we got to get to this one because this one gets really interesting. Several autistic actors, myself included, responded to these tweets. We all said, these tweets, the ones that have been happening after the movie's been wrapped. Remember that. The movie's done, and they're responding to tweets now saying we could have acted in it in short notice. These excuses are just that, excuses. The fact of the matter is 0 effort was made to include anyone who is actually autistic. I'm glad she knows how much effort. 0. Exactly 0 effort to include. And here, my favorite reply, maybe you're just a bad actor. Now, here's the problem with this, right? And also effing BS. You have no effing idea because you weren't there and you haven't seen the movie. Bravo. But then, of course, all the blue marks are all now jumping on this trend to rip down Sia. Ugh, gross. This ain't it, Sia. Drop your defenses and listen to a community that struggles every day to be listened and dignified. Looks like they're trying to call you in on your reaction. Both immature and hurtful only proves how ill-equipped you were to make this film. I'm sorry. What if Helen is a bad actor? I'm sorry, every autistic person isn't suddenly capable of acting. Now, I understand they need opportunities to get there, but no, that she doesn't get to just jump in a Sia movie because she's autistic. That's not how it works. Movies are visions of directors. And if you actually watch this trailer, tons of choreography, stuff happening. Maddie Ziegler is a dancer. That's why she was cast. And she's also an actress because that's what actors do. They act, and they've been doing it for decades. But suddenly now in 2020, if you just do what they've done before, which is cast someone for a role, you are now an awful villain because you didn't cast the type of person for that role. I'm sorry, this is too much. Look, this movie might be terrible. I haven't seen it. I can't judge it yet because I haven't seen it. But the amount of vitriol and hate piling onto this to Sia, this is ugly. This is not the way. This is virtue signaling at its worst. This is, again, we need a term for this because these people aren't woke. I mean, I guess technically they are, but it's there's something else to this. So many just hyperly sensitive people. They want inclusion, but then they want to push Maddie Ziegler out because, God forbid, she get a role. She's not working that much either. But no, screw her. Put someone who's not a good actor in this because we demand it. We demand it. You can't make this vision about your friend any way you want, Sia. You have to listen to us. We demand it. And not only that, but how dare you? You're a terrible person. This movie is garbage. This movie is trash. You haven't even seen it. This is so upsetting. This is ridiculous. And this happens. Swap the group out for another group. And so many of these groups that go nuclear on someone have so many rainbows in their icons. Have you noticed that? They all want inclusion and everyone to be, equality. But no, it's hate and vitriol when you don't support them, when you don't agree with exactly what they're demanding. Here we have a person who says she would fund another version starring those actors to do the right thing because she wants to make sure that community is okay. Here we have a person who's on Twitter fighting back with these trolls, which she shouldn't even be wasting her time, but clearly hurt and heartbroken because she had meant no harm. And these people expect her to just throw this movie away. Like, what is the outcome they want? You didn't hire an autistic actor? This movie's garbage. Throw it in the bin, Sia. How dare you make this movie and consider it? What is the solution here? How can she not be a better person and try the best to explain it? Because she called out this person and said, maybe you're a bad actor? Maybe they are. That's the facts. I don't see that as a hateful, mean thing. Did you see how much she's getting piled in on and how these actors are like, I would have showed up. I'd show up in short notice. I'm sorry. That's not how acting works. How old are you? What can you dance? I mean, millions of questions you ask in an audition to see if they're right. Does it jive with the director? There's so many things. And clearly this is an important thing based off someone Sia knows. It means something to her. It's her movie. She wrote the music. She wrote the script. She directed it. Let her tell her story. If you don't want to see it, don't see it. But to say these hateful things, and make these assumptions and attack her, this is gross. This is gross. Support this channel if you can so I can do more rants like that. Hit that subscribe and hit all alerts. Or better yet, hit the join right next to it. Don't forget to smash that like button and engage in a comment. But say nice things. The comments, they're judged by the algorithm too, if you believe it or not. It's insane how this platform works. So I'm hoping this one will get through the filters and it'll be in your feed. I tried to get it to you earlier, but please help me out by sharing this one, getting it out in the world, because this one is important to me. I'm not against these people. I'm not. Of course, hire all types of people. We should do that more often. But she did. She's actually an ally. She's actually helping. She's trying to learn. She's admitting, I will make another movie and do this with you. My God, it's never enough. This is not the way. And I'm sure people are going to label me. I can't wait. I look forward to the comments. Bring them on. I will be there. Let's have the conversation now. In the meanwhile, make sure if you didn't subscribe, check out these videos. Lots more in store here on Popcorn Planet.